Okay, so every time I receive a message or like an epiphany or a revelation, I always tell myself, okay, I gotta make a video of this later, and then I forget. So I'm just gonna start recording recording when the message comes in. And it usually comes in when I'm going for a walk. I hope you can hear me okay. I have my headphones on, so it should be all right. But one of those things that just came to me was, okay, I gotta give a little backstory. So I've been praying to who and what I pray to, asking for clarity on how to help everyone or those around me with my spiritual psychic gifts and abilities, because we all have psychic abilities if we tap into them. If we we all have spiritual gifts. We all have psychic gifts and abilities that can sharpen if we tap into them, if we acknowledge them. But okay. So let's go to the foundation. To have a foundation to sharpen those gifts and abilities, you have to. Okay. I see. Okay, so I'll come back to that. But so as a spiritual sociologist, because that's what I'm going to school for, sociology being studying the behaviors and attitudes of peoples in a society, in like big groups and collectives, and then add on top of that my spirituality practices and cultural tradition background. I'm a badass spiritual sociologist. Nice to meet you. Okay, but going back, one of the things that I noticed is that people sometimes, okay, I got it. So one of the things that I noticed is that a lot of people, when you see colonialism, and this is something I've said before, when you see colonialism as an evil spirit, you can then begin to unravel layers of all the conditioning that colonialism has imposed, coerced onto us. I noticed people struggle seeing themselves as sacred, and when you fail or are unable or incapable of seeing yourself as sacred, you won't act sacred. And this is very important because you are not the product of your circumstances or your environment. You are not the product of your circumstances or environment. Meaning, work through all the shame and guilt you may be carrying. And as an indigenous person living in a colonial society that works so hard to make especially indigenous people feel inferior and low and ashamed and guilt, and just from all the racism and discrimination. Colonialism works so hard to keep us down there. And so when you fight back and you reclaim your power, when you fight back and rebel against conformity to colonialism and the Eurocentric society, you begin to reclaim and call back all your power, all your gifts, all your abilities, your innocence, your humanness, for fuck's sakes. Because colonialism, especially against indigenous people, colonialism works so hard to have everyone look at indigenous people as lowly and just very low. Because indigenous culture and practices and knowledge and wisdom is a threat to the colonial foundations, beliefs, systems, and values. Because indigenous roots, our wisdom, our knowledge, our sacredness is such a threat to everything that colonialism is built upon, which is just the opposite, just is hate, racism, like just war, hate, fear, and all that. Because we are a threat to all that, the system, colonialism, works so hard to have everyone that doesn't know any better or that's not tapped in to see us in a lowly place. So where I'm getting at is, when you deny that, because that ain't true, when you slap your hand at that and be like, nah, I'm not gonna let that belief thrive within me. When you fight back against that and begin to see yourself as sacred, you will then have access. Wow. Oh, okay. Wait, give me a second to translate that. Deeper truths, knowledge. Okay, let me explain to you what I'm seeing right now. I'm in a library surrounded by all this knowledge and wisdom, and there's all these sacred books, sacred texts, sacred scriptures. This library it feels warm, and there's gold light everywhere. There's warm light. There's pillars. It's like this is a sacred space. So when yes, okay. So until you get to that place, until you get to that place within yourself, and you believe truly, honestly, and see your light and believe your light that you have within you, when you believe, not only believe you are sacred, but embody your sacredness by living like you're sacred, by being practicing mindfulness and being aware of what you put into your body, where that food source is coming from, what you're absorbing from social media, in your Instagram scrolling, Facebook, and all that garbage. When you're not garbage, like online could be very educational and useful if you know how to use the internet as a tool to acquire knowledge, and etc., etc. But once you get to that place, wow, okay. Okay, now I'm seeing the books. The books are, there's wind coming through this library that I'm in, and the books are opening, the pages are fluttering. So the wisdom and knowledge is waiting for you to get to that place. For you, okay. So okay, so there's that. It's a frequency, because remember, we're all pulsating energy, energetic waves and frequency waves. Okay. It's a frequency that you need to embody to be able to have access to to access all this knowledge and wisdom, because all this knowledge and wisdom is so powerful that it can change your life and everyone around you. Lower frequency densities, a lot of these messages coming through I'm just repeating a lot of what I already said in my previous videos, but with, once you come, because as you constantly evolve, and as a person, and you're constantly growing, your mindset, your emotion, you're constantly healing and diving deep within yourself. You change, you become a different person, and when you're a different person and you look at ideas you previously looked at, those same ideas are gonna look and sound different, because you're different, you think different. Okay. So back to my question. I prayed and said, how can I use my psychic gifts and abilities, because we can all have them. It's just the layering of conditioning from all the beliefs of society, colonialism, that wants to keep you small and dim your light, so that you don't access all this light, all this ancient wisdom, all this. Wow. Back to my question, sorry. There's a lot coming through, and I'm trying to keep up. But going back, I asked, how can I help these people? And they, okay. You need to get yourself, you can get yourself there. So simple. You can get yourself there. Okay, I heard beacon of light. Now I'm seeing someone walking in the dark holding a lantern. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. So those people that are there, they can guide you. They can. Okay. They can guide you. They won't tell you, but they can guide you. I just heard, choose your role models. Be conscious of the role models you look up to. I just heard, fuck celebrities. A lot of celebrities are changing. The people that there's going to be a lot of people that you look up to that are not going to meet the old status of the celebrity status. A lot of people are remembering, a lot of people are remembering where they come from. So there are lots of good role models out there to like, if you're not sure where to start, pay attention to who you're listening to. You'll be able to feel it in your body. When you are listening to someone speak, pay attention to how your body feels after listening to them, or just being next to them in the same, like proximity space. Okay, I can feel the message leaving now. The main message I want you to take away from this is challenge colonialism by looking at it as an evil spirit that needs to be, like, you need to protect yourself from, your spirit from, your mind, your emotional body, your mental body, your all of it. Remember, you are sacred. Walk like you are sacred, think like you are sacred, and your energy, your frequency will rise, and all the low frequency densities, it'll begin to repel from you like a magnet. You know, when you put the opposite ends of a magnet together and it repels away from each other. But remember, while you're doing that, the darkness, or that evil spirit of colonialism, will get louder and louder and try and fight harder to put you back into that fear state, which is a low, heavy frequency. When you remember who you are and stand in your truth, and remember, your truth can change because we constantly evolve. When you stand in that, and when you get to the point where you're able to look the demons in the eyes, the demons in the eyes, and ask for them for their names, not even ask for them for names, but begin to name them without them telling you their names, that's when the darkness, the fear, loses all its power. And you become the light that you are seeking. I love you. Bye.